There we are.
Happy
There we are.
Saturday.
There we are.
Cold, wet, wintry Saturday.
Hello, Ann. Nicole, Patricia. Yes, the superstar is back with me. No longer just me, and I'm rocking the old hat. How's everyone doing? Live from Liberty Hall.
In spirit.
We're not going to be saying that for quite a while, I don't think. It's that dang.
It's that John Zaffis curse, man.
It really is.
When he's involved, there's bad weather.
It really is. We were talking to John, and going back and forth, and we're like, dude, it's you. It's you. Because he called me after last week when we talked last Friday. He's like, dude, I don't know if you saw it, but the weather report for next Saturday is just as bad as this one. And I'm like, that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing rain. He's like, I don't know, dude. So sure enough,
he sent it our way.
Yeah, same.
He willed it.
Damn. And right now it snowed for it was coming down, but it stuck a little bit. But now the ice and the rain is
the rain took it. The rain pretty much squashed it. Now it's just all freezing over. I am doing better. Thank you for those that are asking. Thank you for the messages and everything. They
Yeah, you can talk while you eat my hot chocolate.
It meant the world. I went through more tests than I thought I did, much to John's laughter and amusement. I was very sore, very worn out, very tired. I still have some residual effects from the procedures. There were several. I thought there was only going to be 3, but it turned out there were more. And I'm going to be facing another set of testing coming up in about a week and a half. So we'll get through them. I'm a very faithful person. I know that all of your well wishes and positive thoughts and everything do wonders. And by far, in most, there are people out there that are in worse situations than I am, and say your prayers for them and positive thoughts for them as well. And again, I appreciate all of you. And I felt so bad that I went in and passed out on John and didn't wake up until much later. And I found out that the live with Chip was canceled. That broke my heart. That broke my heart big time, because we were all looking forward to talking to Chip, because Chip hasn't been out there and we've all been so stressed out over Chip's well-being. So we look forward to having that happen next week. I am. It's one of the more positive, happier things that I'm looking forward to. And I do have to admit, I don't think I would have been physically up for doing this weekend. So maybe there's another reason why the weather stayed bad.
Yeah, we're talking about having Chip back on Wednesday again. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of, hey, John McGinn, it's just a matter of confirming that. But what I am going to show you guys is a special treat watching.
Wow.
Is people always ask, proof of the paranormal. Did you ever document a real spirit before? Have you ever seen it or showed it on video? And for you, you're going to be able to say, I've seen it, and you've seen actual proof of it that you could share and prove to people.
I'm in the dark on this. What
that
is
there
this?
are spirits and ghosts out there.
Really?
Yeah. And here, ready for the video?
And it's one that lights up in the dark. Oh my God.
Those are my ghost stories. It looks even better on the big TV.
Lisa. Actually, yes, there is a comment about the Comfort Suites discount.
The Holy Grail, yes.
So we talked to the powers that be. If you prepaid, call and talk to them directly. If you did it through a payment app, because like we said, and I've worked in the hotel industry, so when you book a hotel before discounts or figured out and everything, usually your feet are held to the fire for the full price, because they have bosses, they have corporations that own them. They don't function alone. So what they're doing is that anyone that just reserved, they're going to go in manually and they're going to put it under the discount. So when you go to pay, make sure that you say the discounted rate, and they will honor it 100%. That they've given us our word, and I trust them. We've worked for them for years. They're stand-up people there. Those who prepaid and paid in full, if you did it outside of the hotel, unfortunately, they can't negate another outside forces, links, payments, all of that. So if you went through Priceline, Booking.com, Travelocity, they can't change any of that. But she did say, if you reached out to them and you told them, there might be a possibility that who you paid through might work with you. So again, if you paid online, even with I think it's Marriott's hotel, call the 800 number and say, because they do now have it listed. And the other good news, and this is a biggie, they actually have just opened up 7 rooms that John has the link for, that he will be posting later, that there's 7 more rooms at the Comfort Suites that you can book once we put the link up there.
Yeah, it's just stuff we'll do on the expo page. I mean,
absolutely.
For the rest of you, this might not have any bearings, but Chris had to let Lisa know.
But
as
again,
opposed to just messaging.
No, there's a lot of our friends and stuff that have booked.
Yes.
Deb was one, and I want to make sure you guys have it. They called. They said it was 600. What the heck are you talking about, Tracy?
Tracy's. You never
we
know
just talked to him yesterday.
You never know, Tracy. Yeah.
Yeah, if you reserved last year, you do have to call and talk to them. Definitely talk to them direct, and then they will have to input it manually.
Yeah, but the key again is if it's the reservation, then they'll
honor it.
They'll automatically apply.
The prepaid ones are going to be a little bit of a struggle for you guys
full,
to.
That's going to be the
that's difficult to do, and that's because and we understand you wanted to reserve the room, you jumped the gun, and unfortunately, when something's not under contract and you pay through the their link, it's a corporate link, it's not the individual hotel's link, so it does unfortunately muddy the waters. It makes it difficult for all parties.
Yeah. So anyway, tonight we were supposed to be at Liberty Hall. This was the reschedule of the original postponement, and the weather didn't cooperate. It's just one of those not meant to be.
But like I said,
things
maybe that was a backward blessing in a way, because I'm not physically up for it.
Well,
so maybe, I mean, I'd
have carried the event like I always do.
You would have.
I mean,
I have no doubts about that. You would have. But I'm glad that everybody's home safe and sound. So.
It's like if the drummer had a bad night. I mean, people are going to go, hey, the drums didn't sound, but you know what?
Captain didn't
the
need
guitarist
to
was still great.
Right?
The singer, it sounded just like the record. You know.
You're right.
They'll notice, but.
Captain didn't need to kneel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
No, Captain and Tennille are totally different. In this case, I am Tennille.
But I'm pretty sure Captain thought that he was the most important part of the whole musical.
Again, you're bringing up our reference from 1971.
Okay. Are we talking to children?
My goodness.
No, not at all.
Don and I are going to Liberty Hall Monday for the talk. We're actually going to be there, believe it or not, Friday. I know how that sounds weird considering we just postponed 2 events there, but we had the January 8th event scheduled, and then we're doing something with high school kids on Friday at Liberty Hall, which I forgot all about because of all the stuff going on. But yeah, they asked us to do a 2-hour thing with high school kids that are coming.
Right.
It's going to be during the day, which should be weird, but
yeah, they asked us to do a program, which I think it's to teach. They want us to John to do his famous educational lecture.
Famous, it's so famous.
You know, I'm being facetious, and
you're being Tennille.
And to teach, just to educate and show them the different things and just kind of explain stuff, and then do like a little mini.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Again, nothing different than we do with the Girl Scouts.
No.
I have a good time.
I'm actually honored that they asked us to be part of their program.
I have a good time doing that because the younger kids they're all geared up, and anything happens. They're like Chris. The bell! The bell! I have that clip. If anybody's in for that, you want it? You want it?
No, you don't.
But that's why I enjoy, because I'm so used to being in these places.
Hi, Dana. Oh, David likes your hat.
Yes, I read that. I did miss the banter back and forth when I did the live on, what day was that?
I have no idea.
Wednesday.
Oh, that's when I was.
Yes.
Yeah. History.
Thank you. I like the hat too. It was a gift for my birthday. But so yeah, that's what we're doing Friday, and then we have Saturday is Smith Cadbury, and I don't see them postponing, even if they're see the issue with Liberty Hall is that Liberty Hall, if you've ever been there, the grounds are extensive. I mean, from the time you pull into the main lot till the gravel road you take up to the mansion and the carriage house, it's a lot of area that people are going to be walking or driving, and they don't have the crews to maintain that at night. They just don't. So the liability factor is, if you can't put rock salt down and make sure the pathways are clear and the parking lot, then Liberty Hall is liable for that.
And the house, everything in it is
original
and is irreplaceable. So those carpets, everything, why would we want to do any harm to that as well?
But Smith Cadbury, that's the next one. I'm hoping. I checked the long-term forecast. It looks like next Saturday they're going to be okay, but cold. So we should get that one in.
We can handle it.
You never know, but yeah, it's going to be Friday and Saturday, and then kind of every weekend. We're adding, like I said, we have some announcements coming up for other events real soon with other people that you guys are probably going to enjoy. Because of what happened with Liberty Hall, again, that one's going to get postponed all the way till September. And that's mostly, again, once you get into spring with them and summer, it's all weddings.
They have really a lot of programs going on, a lot during the spring and summer.
So, and John's schedule and stuff. So that's going to be rescheduled till September. But again, I recommend, there's only 4 spots left for Jawan at the mine. So, I recommend if you guys want to come to that, email New Jersey Paranormal at yahoo.com and come to the mine. Again, that's going to be, we're kicking off events here. We're not able to do them because of the weather. March 29th, you think would be in the same zone.
Yeah, and then we couldn't,
at the mine.
We literally, John just said this to me the other day because, the stuff that it's been going, there's a lot been going on in the background with us. And it's funny because he says, we have that thing on Friday with the high school kids at Liberty Hall. He goes, we got Cadbury. And then we are literally flying out really early in the morning on Sunday morning for Georgia for testing. So it's definitely it's going to be a whirlwind. So
now,
gotta eat your Wheaties.
Now we probably won't be doing one with Steve this year. I doubt it. It could happen. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. We don't have them scheduled, but we have other people that are scheduled for different events throughout the year. John being the first, which we had to postpone, but there's others that are going to be coming up and being announced, and it should be really cool. I mean, again, moving the Lisa, if you want to come to that, there, like I said, there's only 4 tickets left. It's March 29th. And
I can't wait for that.
Joanne's never been to the mine, and people are surprised when they come there for the first time. Everyone that we've had there, Cody Satori, Kalani, Steve, Jason Hawes, they've all been
Dustin
surprised by what
Chip Coffey's been there.
They did a show there. I'm talking about the people that we
have come and done events
brought in there. But that place kind of is really, really cool. And we love being there. We love doing events there. And you're not even talking to me. Oh, they're going back and forth.
Yeah, because Kathy said that she was glad that it was made for September 12th because she's coming back on the 10th from her cruise. Okay. So she's not going to miss the John Zaffis reschedule.
So, but we'll be with John again doing other things. I just don't want to announce them yet because I like to kind of go in order. But John will be doing some other stuff with us. Again, we end the year with John and Cody Satori at the Hoover House.
First time ever.
That'll be really cool. But that seems like a way off. But damn, the way we're already through mid-February, Valentine's Day came and went, already, and it's moving really fast.
It is.
But yeah, it's so weird to have a year like this where we're not able to do these events. The only thing compared to this was COVID. When March hit, we did the event at Liberty Hall, which was funny. That was the last event we did. And COVID was just starting to really ratchet up.
It did.
And we were nervous doing that event. And there were some people that were afraid that someone was exposed to COVID. I'll never forget that night. And then we just shut down until COVID was over. And haven't canceled events since or postponed one. And then, lo and behold, Jersey Winters have come back. We haven't had one in a while.
Okay, that's a really good question for John to answer. Are you going to show your solo in the mine?
That is a good question.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes, I have to. It's edited. I just have to upload it onto YouTube. And again, I have to figure out how to match the audio from the recorder to the audio of what's happening on video. And that is something that is really tricky. Everything else is kind of easy. But maybe I'll show the other stuff and then I'll show that. But the other stuff is pretty good. I got some good EVPs. And somebody said their full name. Another person said a really bad word to me. And there were some pretty cool things going on in there. What was strange was that when I did it, I was more, I don't want to say scared. I was more heightened. I wasn't apprehensive either. I was more heightened in the office by the crawl space than I was in the mine. which is really weird. I thought it would have been the opposite, being in the mind. Once you're in the mind and you're going, like your mind doesn't really, except for when the bat dive bombed me, and then that's when
No. When it's, I don't care what you say. When it get going in there and you're in there by yourself, and they start doing no. It's not a, yes, it's a big deal.
But yeah, that was
But I would not trade. I being that I know what to expect in the mind, and I do, and I know that they're just salty. They mean no harm. I would not, for any reason, do downstairs where you do by myself.
Well, that's going to be when people come, March 29th.
I'm not doing it.
With Jawan.
Oh, yeah.
It will be the first opportunity for others
to do that.
To sit right next to that opening, and whatever happens, happens. I'm going to get Tracy to sit there by herself, not with Jill behind her. She's going to sit there by herself, and we're going to see what happens.
No.
I should put like a mannequin down there.
Like crawling up the stairs?
Wouldn't that be like the funniest thing
No, it
ever?
wouldn't. I'd be probably the first one to forget. And
that would be hilarious. Oh,
no.
That would be hilarious.
No.
I should have done that to you the night we were there.
You would have never seen me come back.
Tracy, you are going in that closet. It's not even a question. You're doing it.
Have you ever had anybody in the closet before? Ever?
In the archway, not.
But not in the closet.
Not near. No, in the doorway of the closet. I've had people stand there
with the hatch
but not
open.
With the hatch open.
Ooh.
Yeah, or further.
That's horrifying.
I'll put the chair further back and I'll do it that way.
What's that movie? I keep forgetting the name of that thing that you know it too, where that red-faced devil thing appears over his shoulder. Come on, where the son is taken into that other world, and they're
talking about it, Insidious.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's all I could think about the whole entire time he was in that closet. That in the dark he couldn't see down in that opening, and that thing was just right there waiting for him to flash the light on it.
Other people have stood in the doorway, but again, not right. I'm going to put that chair right next to it. That's where I was. And believe me, no one would have been more freaked out than me if something would have. I put my legs down there. I had them dangling, and I'm sitting there, and I was on the live stream. And if something would have grabbed my foot and yanked it, you better believe I'd have left my phone right there, and I'd have been DeBell all the way out of there to my car and on the drive home, yelling DeBell. Yeah, if something would have grabbed my leg, I'd have been out ski, and I'd have left my phone there for sure. I'd have called the chief. Said, Chief, come here. Me and you. I need to get my phone. I'm not going down there. But folks in the doorway, you have put folks.
Yeah, but he's not talking about just leaving you in the doorway.
I had people in there, but I don't know if I had the hatch open when we did that. I don't know. But
if you put somebody in a chair at the hatch like you did, that no.
Hell, I might let them sit on the floor with their legs dangling like I was.
Really?
You do?
No, I wouldn't do it. No, absolutely not.
But the best part about it was, again, when we're in there, and Kathy was part of that group, and Nikki was part of that group, and I told you, kept getting words like blessed and something.
Didn't somebody put holy water?
Nikki has her holy
water.
Why. Every time she gave me one. It's in the room. But we did. I think Kathy said a little prayer. We put some holy water down there, and said a blessing. Okay? I try. That's what somebody was asking me. Who the heck was asking us that when we did we had a Zoom call for something that we're working on. And one of the questions was, do you help the spirits cross over, like from the creeper gallery or whatever? If you're doing like a private home investigation, and you'll do everything you can to try to make the people living there feel more comfortable with what they're dealing with, and that includes a lot of different things with working with the people as well as the spirits. But when it comes to objects, I don't remember any. I remember some saying help me or something like that, but I've never really remember one saying I can't cross or I'm stuck or I don't really remember that. And
help
again,
me.
these aren't my objects. They're they're from the shop, and Donna works with them before we work with them, and the medium works with them before we work with them. So
But
again,
help me doesn't necessarily mean help me to cross over. Help me just might mean I need someone to listen to me. I need
or
someone to
something
know.
happened that
I need someone
it's a residual
aware,
help me.
or I don't want to be forgotten. I mean, we automatically gravitate when something is said that there's a narrative when we don't
Well, it
know
could
what
be a
that
residual
narrative.
help me,
Yeah.
a memory, just like things that playing out. That whole kill me, kill them thing at the mine. I don't know if that was somebody really there saying, hey, kill him, kill me. It could have been, but
Kill him.
I got the video. I got it all
Still,
queued. I got it all
when
queued if
he
you want it.
played it and the voice changed,
I think you were possessed.
I literally never even knew I did that. I don't understand why that happened at all.
I think you're possessed.
Well, all
You
I
sounded
know
like
is that
Linda Blair.
there was a bunch of stuff going around me, and I was getting hyper vigilant, and I could feel it like it was ratcheting up. But until you played that, I had no idea that had taken place. That freaked me out when you played it for me.
You just make me. I can't even get through it. You just make me. I'm trying to take it in and listen to what it's saying, but I'm hearing and I'm like, what are you doing over there? It is what it is.
I'm going, well.
Again, it's like being with Shaggy and Scooby, and I'm trying to
be
like Velma, trying to solve the case that I got.
I wish I could honestly, with all honesty, I wish that I could keep calm and my anxiety I wish I could be like all of you and just go, oh, this ain't a big deal. I'll do it.
I wish I'd have been there when you ran away from that protection circle. I wish that was on video. Oh, I so wish that somebody captured that. That would have been something I would have played. All she kept talking about is, I'm going to try this new thing where I do a protection circle, and I'm going to have this, and I'm going to explain it.
I did it.
And I'm going to have it, and I'm going to have people stand in it. And then I hear that she heard a noise, and she didn't go anywhere near her protection circle. She went the other way.
I bypassed it. Left everybody stand.
Boy, that gives people confidence.
But okay. My reaction was a genuine reaction. I wasn't in the protection circle, and there was a big bang from behind us that was not residual. I mean, it was big bang. Everybody that was there. I think Kathy was there. I think Marianne was there with her family. There were people that were there that witnessed it. All I have to say is that when that bang happened behind the curtain, I felt like something was coming for us. And I ran off that pulpit, right? I didn't leave the room, though. I did not abandon anybody. But I left you up on that pulpit because none of them moved. They all just froze.
Froze? They just weren't.
They froze. No, that scared them just as bad as it scared me. And somebody was sitting in the protection circle.
What does it say when you're in a situation and the police officer runs out of the away from this crime scene?
Oh,
what are you supposed to do when
this
that
is
happens?
serious. Run.
Not good.
If a cop is running, run.
Not good.
No, but again, no, you weren't part of that group. I think Marianne Pastore was part of that group. She was there, and it might have been somebody else I know too that was in it. I just can't remember who because it was a while ago. But I never forget how I felt. My adrenaline just went. My anxiety went ping when that happened, and that was it.
Well, like I said,
you know how some people stand and they freeze? I'm not a freezer.
No, you're not. Yeah, you're really not.
And I lose the ability for speech.
I
do. I lose the ability for speech when I'm scared. And I always said this, and I actually had this conversation with a couple of my sisters. I have there's speech dyslexia. I say things backwards.
A lot.
I've said it my whole life.
She does.
And it is dyslexic speech, that it's backwards. And there's nothing that's going to fix that. It's just the way it is. And it gets worse when I'm scared. and then I have the ability. It's almost like somebody who they stutter but they can sing. And when I get scared, I lose all ability.
One of the worst things that ever happened.
That's who Marie was with me.
Yeah, there were two really bad things that happened to her that I witnessed that were concerning, scary, if you want to call it that. The one time when she was left over alone on the floor, the third floor of a building, we were investigating, and she lost track of time, and I found her up there. And the second was during an event at the Creeper Gallery. We're actually doing a live event in front of people, and I brought out the sensors, which were used in exorcisms, and I was not provoking, but trying to see who was connected to
and
them.
I stayed out of it.
And next thing I know, everybody's kind of like watching these sensors, and we all heard a thump, like something dropped, and this one sitting in the red chair in the corner completely passed out, and the flashlight just dropped out of her hand. And we all just said, event's over. We, got her alert and awake, got her out of the building, away from the building. But that was it. We finished the event right there, because that was just everybody else. Everybody else was fine, but you were just like knocked out.
I wonder.
They go for the vulnerable, the ones that aren't of strong mind.
No. See, I'm gonna throw this out there as a devil's advocate, for lack of a better phrase. I think there's something in me that and bear with me on this theory. Isn't it possible that there's a mechanism that I shut down so that I keep, like, that is the effect of not letting something get in?
Well, I'll make a bad analogy. It's close. It's not the same, but it's close. There are people who go through severe trauma, whether it's a wreck or an assault or something bad, and their brain automatically does kind of
go into
take them somewhere else, so they pass out from fear or whatever.
Yep.
To protect them from whatever their senses are reacting to or the body's reacting to. I don't know if that's the case with you.
And the reason why I've been thinking about this more and more over the years, because that's happened to me, I think, 4 times in all the years that we've done this together. 4 times. Okay? And I have gone through trauma. You know this. Yeah. Everybody out there knows I've gone through physical trauma. And I have that ability, even during those traumas that most people don't survive from, not mentally anyways. I have always had that ability since then to completely shut my brain down and completely, and it may sound ridiculous, but I can pull myself out of. Yeah. And I don't mean floating by my body and watching what's happening. No. There's almost like a self-imposed sleep is a lack of a better word.
It's like a detachment.
Completely, but everything's shut down.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not there. I'm not aware. I'm completely absent.
I've seen it.
But I'm talking about even during trauma.
I know.
I've done this with doctors.
I've seen you in situations where
I do that.
Yeah, where things
like I need to not. That gets. But I've gone in and had procedures done where you get held down, and I can't be held down. So, and they do it, and the doctor will be like, hey, and it's from far away. I'll hear them, because when they're getting ready to do the procedure, and I know that it's going to be, it does hurt when you have these things done, that I literally can just go right away. And it's like from far away, they'll be like, hey, you all right? And it's just like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, she's unconscious. She's not just asleep.
Yeah, I'm gone.
Yeah, she's out. And again, we're all doing our thing with the sensors, and the next thing we know, turn around and she's like this in the chair, completely slumped over, and we're like, that's it. We're done. And again, there was nothing. And if you go back on YouTube and you look at our cable access show, I mean, one we should probably show again and do a narration for and tell the whole story of the cursed box. because it's been a long time since we told that story and showed that video and explained everything that happened with that box. I, up until that point, I never really was a believer of curses.
You didn't.
I didn't think curses were real. It's like one of those things like, how could a curse be real? It's only real as if people believe in the curse. Your self-fulfilling prophecy. If I tell you, I'm putting a curse on you from now on, from this day forth, a lot of bad things are going to start happening to you. And it's going to be because of me. I put that on you. Every bad thing that happens to you, whether it's dropping a $10 bill in the puddle, or slipping or dropping your garbage bag, opening up, you're going to think in your head, oh crap, that's the curse.
You attribute everything to that.
And you're going to give it power. That's what I thought curses were. But that box, boy, did that prove me wrong. Somebody died. Donna's dog almost died.
Another person.
Horrible luck.
There was a lot of stuff that happened.
Whoa, this thing is, and the medium warned us again and again and again. You idiots, do not open that.
So did I.
She kept saying, and we even have the interview on the cable access show where Donna was saying, we're protecting ourselves. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And Jeanette, the medium, said, whatever you're going to do more, because it ain't going to be enough.
She did.
Boy, was she right. Because,
and boy, let me tell you, and I was there. I witnessed. I filmed it way over here. It was Joe, Donna's husband, Donna and John. They put the salt that was from the elders. They did the whole saging thing, and not dried out. They did the fresh. They did a whole bunch of stuff.
Donna got advice from Wiccans and everybody.
She did but the psychic medium said it's not going to be enough. It's not. It's just too powerful. And if you, I don't think you should open it at all. You don't know what you're going to unleash. You should not open it all. And boy, let me tell you, and the blade broke when he tried to remember.
And she even said that
there was stuff that happened even when they were trying to open the box.
Well, because even after we opened it and we went through the story with the medium of what happened and all the things that happened as a result of opening it, the medium said, you let some of them out. You don't let all of them out. There's way more in there still. And none of them are good. And we were like, whoa. And that's when Donna, to her credit, put that thing in the corner. She's got a lock to it that only she has the key to. I couldn't get that box out again if I wanted to.
Nope.
And
thank God.
No one's allowed to mess with that box or talk to
because
that
let's
box.
Be honest. If you had a key to it and everybody's saying, hey, let's do some dark stuff. I'm not there. You'd be tempted to bring that box out.
No.
Yeah, you would. Because you also want to do that the Bible.
No, I haven't done that. You see, I don't touch that.
But you do want to do that religious book. You have been biting at the bit to do that.
No, I really
book.
haven't been mentioning it. I'm afraid of that.
Because she actually said, we haven't done that. We'll have to do that sometime. Oh, yeah. You let me know when you're ready. We'll do it.
I'm afraid of bad luck.
Not wait.
If I read one of those cards and there's something about bad luck or whatever, there was I think it was the embroidery or the painting. There was something that said, as the owners, bad luck, blah, blah, blah. And I read that and I was like, that scares me more than anything.
I know you do. You don't like
attachments, all that other stuff, or negative. Bad luck.
And that's another thing. How come you're good with doing the dark stuff, but you've got this hang up about like with the father?
I'm afraid of religious stuff.
What are you afraid of?
Bad luck.
Because you're talking to it, that it's going to create that you can't go to heaven. That for some.
No, I'm afraid of bad luck. I'm superstitious.
But why would
that's why I don't wear crosses. I told you this.
But why would you atone superstition to stuff of religion?
Because
things that are supposed to be of faith.
In my head,
and strength.
In my head, because I'm not a practicing religious person, and I never have been, wearing things that symbolize it or trying to, again, people that were involved in the church, like those stalls and everything. I find it almost as I'm disrespecting them in some way.
Isn't that crazy that you don't?
But I'm afraid of the bad luck that comes from that.
But isn't that funny? You're not religious.
No.
You don't go to church. You don't. But you attribute that kind of. So this is where you're very complex, and you are very complex. And this is what's so unique about you, is that you don't have a faith based in the religion.
I'm afraid.
But yet you attribute.
I'm afraid of voodoo too.
But you attribute these fears and these things, and that's funny for people who don't believe in voodoo. They wouldn't be afraid of it.
I'm afraid of it.
But you are.
Yeah. Because what if it's real?
But that's always your thing. You don't believe it, but what if?
Yeah.
But yet you don't believe in demons and evil.
No.
But yet this is the contradiction of you. This is why you would. If people did studies on you, you would probably exhaust them. Literally, you will do the dark, the evil stuff because you don't believe in demons and evil. No problem. You could take and curse your soul to hell forever or get attached to something beyond anything you can comprehend and understand. That's okay. But you don't want to piss off anything that has to do with religion and
because
what you don't
it's
believe
based
in.
on other things. When I told you, I had friends that had cross rings when I was 11 or 12.
Okay.
I just liked them because I liked the way they looked.
Right.
It was kind of cool to me.
It's an image.
It wasn't really anything about religion or anything. And I always wanted one. And I always wanted, a friend of mine had a Christ head that was gold.
Okay.
And I loved the way it looked. Again, it was done really, 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 really well. And I was like, boy, I'd really like to have one of those, you know? And again, it didn't have anything to do with being religious or wanting. It was just, I liked the way it looked, and it couldn't hurt to have. I mean, you saw those rosaries. My mom's rosaries are.
So was it of Jesus with the crucifixion, with the
my mom's rosaries are right there on her urn. But I mean, I try to embrace it, but I find when I do, bad stuff happens.
See, I think that's a psychological, and that you create that. In the same way that there's a shut off with me when it comes to things that are attacking me.
Well, I'm just telling you how you know, my brain is. Yeah. Tell us what happened in the mind. I'd rather show you what happened in the mind. So maybe Chip will probably be on Wednesday. So probably Monday night. I'll probably show the mind video, you know, and.
Did you talk about the Creeper Gallery when you were on Wednesday?
Briefly. I don't remember. You know, I don't remember.
We did the Father Stone.
I don't remember the good stuff.
And he responded. I think he responded very quickly. I think he was responding to directly to the stuff that we were saying. He was definitely listening to you and responding to you quite a bit. Where did we get the voices from? Didn't we get a response from him? On EVPs?
I told you, I don't really
EVPs
remember
were
the
hard.
good stuff.
They were very hard. We only got a few things that happened, and then
surprisingly, we have gotten good stuff. Remember the I don't know what you call them, but the hats that the priests wore?
Yeah.
We got good stuff from those as well.
We did.
So I mean,
but I think he wanted us to know things. I think he was conveying, because didn't he respond to about forever? You were asking him about God.
About being with God, and he said
and
forever.
He said forever.
Yeah. So
I think and the way that he responded was a man of the cloth, and he spoke very, and I think as long as he's in, and I think he does want to be in a home that is of religious base, you know, and belief system like him. Yeah. I do, because if somebody buries themselves into that so deeply, and just the response that he said, I'm forever with God, I think the fit for him would be in a house that also believes and is faithful, and that he'd be exposed to that on a regular basis. That would be my surmising.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't, again.
I don't
mean,
think you
I
just
would
want to
think
be in
so.
a museum piece or
Yeah.
whatever. I just think on the humanity side of that, that would be the normal conclusion, just by the responses we were getting from him. You could tell there was a goodness. You could tell that he was a man of very strong convictions. Even though he followed the church, he never stepped out of his humanity. He always defended. He was defending the rights of people of educations, all of these things, and it was defying the church. I mean, look at they suspended him several times, excommunicated him.
Yes, I don't take in any of that stuff.
I did.
It's
I
like
feel really
it's
strongly
like the
about him.
mediums that say they do a reading and then it's kind of wiped out and then they do the next reading. I'm like that with a lot of the objects. When I look at them and I kind of go, I kind of remember that, unless it's a real bad one, and then I'm like, oh.
Well,
I remember
it's
what that
kind
was.
of funny. I get feelings off of stuff, and I'm not a psychic medium. I don't have any of these abilities, and that's not what I'm saying. I would never say that because that's not true. But there sometimes when we are doing investigations on stuff, and especially stuff that I feel very, very comfortable with, where I don't feel that I'm putting up barriers, like with the stuff, the darker stuff you're doing, I do put up barriers, and that's a fear. That's my fear. So I'm throwing up those walls. I need to protect myself. That's an instinct that we all have. But when it comes to something like Father Edwards, I'm not Edwards, McGilly, McGlenn. It was Father McGlenn. I felt really comfortable with him. Very comfortable with him. Very secure. Very open. Like I didn't have to put up guards. Like there weren't going to be.
See, that's where the disconnect exists between you and I. I feel like when I'm speaking to a religious person, a person who's a priest or whatever, anything to do with the church, I feel like it's almost someone trying to talk to a chemist about chemicals and chemistry that isn't never studied it. I'm like trying to be as basic and overview, as much of an overview as I could give and relate on a personal level to the person, but on the faith end of it, I got nothing.
But I don't think I was talking to him under a faith basis. I think I was talking to him that he was a father, of the church, and I was giving him that respect. I am not a religious person,
I know that, but you're a little more.
I am a person who has faith, blind faith. My faith is unshakable. I always have, no matter how dark it is, I have hope. There's always light. There's always, I'm always going to go to the no matter in tragedy and any trauma or whatever, I'm always going to look to the positive, the good, and I'm not going to dwell on the dark or the bad. So that's where my baseline comes from. Not that
You get that from me. I mean, you never were that way before you met me.
Yeah.
And I kind of taught you how to be that way through years and years of patience and
yes,
and
100%.
teaching.
I was such a
before that you were
such a hoden.
Oh,
horrible heathen.
But anyway, yeah, back to the mind.
And that makes me happy, Kathy, that you felt very connected to him.
But like I said, I will have the mind video. It's just a matter of I have most of it cut except for that last part, and the problem was that basement was so damn good.
Yeah.
And I hate going away from places that are good. That's my problem. That's where even when we do events, I'll get bogged down where I have a plan to take people all on the floor. And then there's one area where if you get 4 EVPs out of 5 questions, you're like,
why would you move?
Why am I going to leave here when they're
why would
here?
You move?
And they're interacting here. We should get as much from here as we can.
I get that.
But I get that people want to see more of the area. But I'm like.
But is that, I mean, you're always good about this. You always say, we can stay here and continue, or we can move on. You always give everybody the option. So even if somebody decides they'd rather stay, because again, communicating with spirits or whatever that we're communicating with, that doesn't happen all the time. So it's not just about touring and seeing and experiencing, seeing. When you're in the heat, I do understand this. When you're in the heat of the moment of having that dialogue going back and forth, why would you ever just stop it and say, okay, we haven't seen over there, so let's just move away from who's engaging with us now? Because you know as well as I do, for the rest of that time, that could be it. There could be nothing more.
Well, that's what the first time I investigated the library at Centenary University was when I hit that corner where the displays are, the Tilly display, and I got like out of 12 questions, I got 7 responses between 2 groups, and I'm like,
wow,
we're not making it out of this little area. It's like a closet. And there was the other room here. There was going down the basement, which is pretty creepy, where they've seen the shadow figure. But it was just like, this person has been waiting for people to talk to them.
And gravitating
And here we are, and they are. So I am not going to. That's what happened to me at the mine. The office, again, I knew that guy probably wanted a million chances to have me there by myself and to say things to me and threaten to kill me. And I gave it to him. I wanted to give him every opportunity to do that, you know? And I enjoyed it. So, even when he said kill him twice, I still enjoyed it.
So did the energy ramp up like it did when I was there? Did it feel the same to you?
No. It was more aggressive when you were there, for sure.
Why do you think that is?
Females didn't work in the mine. I don't know. I should have had you sit in that thing and put your legs down.
Not going to happen,
That would have been
sir.
maybe the next video.
I'm so happy you have others who are willing to be your guinea pig.
There was one night, and I'll never forget this, when we were in the basement of the mine opposite of where I was. And it was during an event, and it was so funny because there were, 4 groups. Out of the 4 groups, 3 different groups had women that said their butt was touched.
Are you serious?
I am not.
And they didn't know that happened in the group before.
And when they said it, I would go, he did that to someone in the last group.
So they didn't know that until it happened to them. Yeah, it wasn't preset in their brain.
And it was just like, and we were, I don't remember where we were. I kind of do remember where we were, but I don't want to mention the place because we'll never go back there. But we're in a place with other people, and we're doing a walkthrough, and we were behind this woman.
Oh Lord!
Who, and we were probably a person between her. So she was there. There was a person, and then there was us. She kept stopping every 10 feet and going, who's touching my ass? One of my language. But she's like, did you, to the person that was in front of us? And they're like, no, I didn't. And we were right behind her. Like, you didn't do anything. Someone's touching my butt. And everybody's like, no, nobody's doing that. And it's a little further. One of you, and we're like,
at that point,
it got to the point where everybody was
like, nobody.
We're going to the back of the line.
The mother of this woman had to say, "Will you knock it off? Just knock it off." And she pulled me aside. She goes, "She does this everywhere she goes." And I said, "And do you see how uncomfortable all the males are in this group? Because everybody was afraid that they were going to get accused of being the person." You can see all the wives and girlfriends pulling their significant other way away from this woman.
That was weird. That was really weird. And, to bring up funny story about Camp Evans. We were doing an event at Camp Evans last year or the year before. I can't remember which one it was, but they have daytime tours there, like a lot of other historic locations and museums do. And our contact there says there was this woman who came through today. This is like hours before our event. And she claimed to be a medium. And she said she walked through this whole place clearing all the spirits. So the spirits are gone. And we're like, really? And she's like, yeah. She said that there were a lot of them here and she cleared them all. And I'm like, and you let her do that before where people are coming in an hour and a half? And she's like, I didn't know she was doing it. She told me after the tour was over that
she took it upon herself.
They let them wander, on their own a little bit here and there. And the woman, and I'm like, so that night again, it's in my head. Like I don't believe people can do that, but like I said, you never know. So first group comes in and we're in the area where I'm in, where all the communication devices are, and I got like 3 EVPs, like out of 7 questions, and I'm like, so much for clearing, huh? Like it's just like I wonder what the process is in a person's head. I'm not a medium. I don't believe all mediums are real.
I've heard that mediums have told us that they remove spirits from homes and taken them and released them
Yeah,
in
remember,
other locations.
remember the one we did with, I don't want to mention their name,
No.
but good guys, nice guys. But the reason I had them on was because I had heard the story how they could literally latch on to spirits. And you guys may have remembered this interview if you've been watching this for a few years. They can latch on to the spirits if they have an attachment, a person, pull them out. And literally, they like drag them down the stairs, open the door, and
But maybe that's
and I'm listening to this, and I'm just like, again, I was open-minded as I can be about everything. Believe me, I try to be.
But do you think that's like a what you said about a placebo?
It's no different than those religious shows where they're all, you're healed. You know what I mean? Your spirit demon be gone. It's no different
So
than
sometimes maybe it's they're doing a visual like that for the person to actually in their mind.
Yeah, because some people need that.
They need that
Yeah.
to like a placebo, like I said, to get that so that okay, it's gone, it's done.
Difference is these people are saying that they're actually doing it. They're not saying we're doing it because we don't know if it works or not. We're giving them, they're saying that they're removing the attachment. And
but if you're doing that to help people, you can't, like a doctor can't go around and saying, hey, I'm not giving you a real pill, I'm giving you a sugar pill.
Whatever. I'm just saying. I don't.
I'm just being the devil's advocate here.
Of course you are. Because you believe in all that hooey.
No, well,
and I don't.
I think there's some things that we don't understand. I don't, and I would have to see to believe on a lot of stuff. I don't take everything at face value. There are things that I personally believe for myself. I don't expect anybody else to believe it, but what I do. But again, I'm not going to say that everything that people deliver and say is true. But I'm also at the same time going to try to be open-minded to something.
Which means
that
you're not
I
going to give an answer, a personal perspective on anything. You're just going to say
true.
It could be this, it could be
No,
that.
what I'm saying
To cover
is,
all your bases.
I would want to see and experience it for myself what that person's doing, and try to be open-minded, and then go, okay, yeah, that's.
So you'll sit there and go, you know what? Maybe that color isn't blue. Maybe from your perspective, it is more of a brown.
Well, mixed with the right colors, it does become brown.
There you go, and there's my point.
But
there's my point.
That is
exactly.
But what I'm saying
some
is,
things are brown. Some things are
John,
blue.
100% correct. But what I'm saying is, I will at least give the benefit of the doubt and try to have an open mind and listen with an open mind before I go poo poo. And then I'll go poo poo if
I don't think it's our business to help others cross over. My issue with the idea of crossing spirits over is it's such a gray area in that we don't really know how it works from when we pass to whatever happens next. We don't know if there is a next with 100%.
And are humans empowered with that
we don't know with 100% certainty that there is a next. We don't know, and we don't know if there's a choice involved. Like Patricia just mentioned. Patricia said, it's their journey, not ours. Okay.
And who makes us the judge?
Let's not go down the rabbit hole too much here, but if we are humans, and as humans, we have free will. We decide whether we leave the house, we get in our car, we drive wherever we're going. But we don't control if a meteor falls from the sky and slams into our car, if a tree falls. Right. And, there are things that just happen for whatever reason that's unexplainable. You know, um, I don't know if spirits have the ability to choose. Is it just the process? When you pass, is it like movies and stuff where somebody greets you and
Because we all
or
watch
you're
the movie
or
Ghost
you're
and we have that concept.
or you're in another place automatically? Nobody knows that. But for the ones that where people have the opinion of them being earthbound or stuck, that's where the question lies.
And is there
Are
such
they
a thing
here?
of being stuck?
But this is what I mean. Are they here because they want to be? Do they just come and go? Are they confused about whether they passed or not? Like Sixth Sense, you didn't know he was gone. Any and all
But
of that
isn't
is
it?
possible.
But wouldn't it be crazy if the only reason why there is even a concept of ghost or paranormal experiences is because we ourselves are the triggers, the magnet. We are the creators of it. That it's actually not something that exists right there, and they just come. But we are creating that. That there's something about us.
Well,
that
that's what I'm saying.
creates-
Let's say again, hypothetical. All of a sudden, like I've been in 2 car accidents that were really bad, and that I probably shouldn't have survived. One, I flipped a convertible where I was upside down, which was bad, and the other I was hit head on at a really high rate of
you
speed.
should have never survived
Head
that
on.
one.
And either one of those could have taken me out. Hypothetically, if there is a choice involved and a light has shown in front of me, or I woke up in a place where all of a sudden now somebody is saying to me, a voice or whatever, saying, hey, look, it's your time. You're going to now come over here and be with people that you know that have passed or whatever. Or, you know, you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to do that. I want to stay here. Even though I don't have a physical form, I still want to be around my loved ones. I still want to be in the house that I lived in with my family. I still want to be of the earth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is that part of it? I would choose to stick around here for a while longer.
Wouldn't everybody?
Is that what an earthbound spirit is? Or someone who's confused, or, you know what I mean? We don't know. Or they don't know that they've passed. A severe trauma happened and they are confused about whether to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, like somebody getting shot in the back
over.
of the head that has no, they don't, there's just lights out all of a sudden.
Yeah.
There no expectations, don't even know. But again, there's so many, but it's just crazy. What if they really don't haunt us? It's us who drag them in, or drag that, you know. Wouldn't it be funny if the concept is actually the opposite, that they're wherever your loved one or spirits from the past, they're wherever they are, and there's something about us that all of a sudden, like a magnet, all of a sudden pulls them right in.
Well,
you know.
Soul fragmentation and hauntings. I got a quick one before that, Trevor. There was a show, and I'm not going to mention the show, but they performed an experiment in which they created the haunting. There wasn't an actual haunting or spirit connected to a particular site or location. They made up their own spirit, gave the spirit a name, a life story, and were investigating as if
It was real.
it was a real spirit. That was a real
So
person.
they empowered it.
And they wanted to see if they could create something, like sort of manifest their own spirit.
Okay.
If it was an experiment. I'm not saying what show it was because I don't want to get trouble. But it was an experiment. It was an experiment worth doing and worth trying. The problem on my end with that experiment is that, in theory, they may have proven that it's possible, but you could also go the other side of the spectrum and go, maybe when they opened up that channel of communication, that somebody was listening and was just kind of
Fitting that
going
narrative?
along to get along, to kind of
Yeah,
like,
okay.
hey, look what these people are doing.
Okay.
They're talking to this guy Harry. You know, I could be Harry. Oh yeah, sure. I'll
If that
turn the
gets you
thing on
talking
for
to
that.
me and listening, that's who I'll be. We
I'm
do
just
that
saying
in real life.
it's also possible that whenever you open up those channels, and even here, if we were to do it right here in our home where we know our home is not haunted and there are no spirits here,
Mhm.
if we all of a sudden got our recorders and started doing what we do night after night after night after night,
Are we opening our house to a party?
we might not create the spirit, even if we did. Right, let's name him Bob and say Bob lived
Yeah.
here in the 20s.
Yeah.
We might not be talking to Bob. We might have brought somebody in from around,
And he's just going to fit that mold.
and Bob, he's going to pretend to be Bob and do stuff, and we kind of conjured him in a way instead of manifested him. I think that's more
I
likely.
you got to think of it in the concept of you have still water, and then you take a spoon and you stir it, and you create that energy, that whirlpool. You've changed and you've added in, and you've put that energy, and you've created that reaction.
It's equivalent to putting a worm on your hook, throwing it in a pond, and saying, "I'm going to catch the fish named Harry."
Yeah.
You know, Harry the fish that everyone talks about, who's a bass, and he whatever. I'm going to catch that fish, and that's the only fish I'm going to catch because I'm looking for that fish,
Right.
Harry, that everyone talks about, and I'm going to reel it in. I'm going to get something up, and I'm going to go, holy crap! I caught a bass. I was looking for a bass.
I got a bass.
This must be Harry,
right.
the bass.
You're
no, there's Harry.
How many bass in that water?
All in that water.
And how would you know if Harry's really that's the bass that you were looking for?
I mean, I think it's really intriguing, and I love that part and that aspect of the paranormal, because even when people go into a building with a preconceived idea of, well, Mary Smith died in this house in the bedroom in 1895.
Okay.
So Mary Smith must be the only spirit here. You know, oh, we're getting voices. We're getting this. This must be Mary Smith. Well, it might be if you're getting, again, some stuff that's really validation as far as her life, and she's answering specific questions, that you could sort of fact check. But we've investigated objects that were supposedly connected to a female, and male voices were coming through. And we're like, who are you?
Somebody, I read somebody had this theory that, when you go into a location and there's a spirit attached to that location, and people think that at any given time or whatever, when you keep going in, you're getting different, you're communicating with different ones. The theory is, this person stated, well, that's because those spirits are attached to you and you're bringing them into the location.
Was tapped in. Do you think it'd be? That's interesting as well, Trevor. I find it all possible, in that here's the weird thing for me. The concept of spirits following people, that's a weird one for me, because
or attached, right?
It's not following.
Okay, following.
Of people living somewhere, and then they move somewhere else, and that spirit that was there is now there.
Why would that make
sense?
And
they move 3 times, and that spirit is still
that wouldn't
with
make
them.
sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me, but is it beyond the realm of possibility? That's the thing. It's really not, but it doesn't make sense. But this goes back to Trevor's question, in that the spirit may be connected or tapped into a specific person for a specific reason, rather than existing in the home and being there prior to that person moving in. They may have picked up that spirit anywhere, and in theory, that spirit is not leaving that person
So like
alone.
that magnetic thing, I'm drawn to that human, that
It's
person
all
for
it's
some
all
reason.
possible. Do I think it's likely? I think it's very rare if it's possible. I think in more cases than not, there's other underlying issues that make people believe that that's happening. But it's entirely, if you're going to believe it, you sort of got to believe all of it's possible. You can't just say
Pick and choose.
intelligent,
You.
residual, building. They can only be in a building. They can only be in a, whatever. You've got to think of if any of it's possible, all of it is potentially possible, except for magic rocks and.
Well, I do have to say though, I always get a kick out of when something is labeled that this is so and so, and that's
allergies.
the only person that's haunting this place. When you're literally wiping out.
We're way over now.
Everything about there. I look at it this way: you take your life in what you've lived. There's no way that a person in your life can know everything about you because you're living your life. I'm living my life. You haven't walked in my shoes from the time I was born. I haven't walked in yours. There are so many undocumented moments of your life that others can't, and we forget a lot, and that you would never be able to tell that stories. And then you talk about, and this is an age where everything is pretty much documented. What about way back in the 1400s, the 1500s, the 1600s, even before that, where things weren't documented, that things weren't written down unless it was somebody that's perceived to leave their name, and it's usually somebody well-known, wealthy, or of influence, like kings and people of notary, of some notoriety. But what about the things that are happening that you will never know for hundreds of thousands of years that have happened in the very spot that you're standing on, and you're just going to assume because in this moment in time, of an instance. Let's take a shooting happening
you're
in this area.
Yeah, the research only goes back so far.
Yeah, this is documented from in 1950. This happened on this spot. Well, what if it did? But what if even further, way back than that, hundreds of years before, something even worse than that happened on that property? And maybe that's what you're getting, but you're ascribing it to what you perceive it to be, and you're missing all of the points.
Yeah, again,
because you've made that your goal.
Not to bring everything back to the mine, but the mine is an example of documented deaths being 70 something, but that number's probably triple because that mine has been in existence since the late 1600s, and yet they didn't start keeping records until the early 1900s. So
a lot of unknown.
But Trevor brings up a good point too. Again, there's a reason why we don't work with mediums. When we do a private case, we will bring a medium with us because it a lot of times the client wants that perspective, and we like to be able to at least offer that. And it's another opinion. It comforts the client if they believe in mediums, and we only work with the mediums that we trust. But yes, I doubt you're going to bring a medium anywhere
where they're not going to find
without
something?
them picking up on something. And some would say that's because they have that ability. They can pick up spirits everywhere and anywhere. Problem with that is, where's the proof? Where? It's all based on whether you believe that person standing in front of you or not. I've seen proof of people having mediumship abilities. I hate to admit it because I do believe there are a dime a dozen, if not more, but I hate to admit that I've seen proof of real mediums, and I don't know how. We were just talking about this with a friend of ours. Nancy Weber. Look her up. Google Nancy Weber. Nancy Weber not only claims to have worked with police and detectives to help solve missing persons and murders, she is documented as doing such.
Yeah.
There are
detectives
and policemen that have been on TV with her and that are quoted in books saying, yeah, we took her in a car, We drove her around. This is what she did. That's kind of irrefutable. And we've seen instances of those type of things where the medium has said something, and I, you know me, I'm the first to be like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then all of a sudden something happens or a voice comes through, and I'm like, wait a minute here. What the hell? Or something's backed up. Again, this is even prior to, I know we're older, believe it or not. And this goes back before like Google and the internet was really, really something, and smartphones back in those days where mediums couldn't research like you can now. And we saw mediums tell the family members stuff that were just like, whoa, you know? And those are the ones that I would continue to work with. Again, just as
A good tester for that, like you said.
and it's part of the counseling process.
It
I
is.
mean, there are a lot of people that if they want, if they request the paranormal group to come in, they want a medium involved. A lot of people want that because they believe in that. We would never bring one in that we didn't at least have some faith in, because again, it's too easy to just say, I see a little girl in a yellow dress in the corner who lived here and she's waving, and the rest of us are like,
We've heard some outlandish stories that
Yeah.
have been added on to stuff just to make the place a haunted place. And when we go into somewhere, the first thing we ask, is any of this documented? Is there anything that stands behind? And strangely enough, we went to a place where we were doing what we were doing, and something came out. And I asked these people about it, and they were like, well, yeah, actually, a lot of people don't know this, but they pulled out a book and there was a picture of what we were getting, and we're just like, and that's documented. Why aren't you researching and bringing this out in the open? Because this actually, and it came out. We didn't know that about this. We didn't know the history of it, but it came out during an experiment that we were doing, and they validated that. And again, when there's validation and there's several things that do that, and like John said, there's no research behind it, nobody knows about it. A psychic medium will say, well, this and this, and then you can go back and you can document it, and the psychic medium has had no ability to prep, because there are psychic mediums out there that are very good at reading people. We as human beings love to we give out more information than we realize.
social media,
and not just social media, but even people in front of you
media.
Doing cold readings. People don't realize sitting down at a table with a psychic medium, when you start having conversations, what you reveal. And when people are really gifted people readers, they know how to do the angle and how to tell you what you want to hear.
Wow.
There's gifted people out and knowing how to read a room and read an area of something of what I'm going to tell you will fit the narrative of what you want and make you go walk away a believer, even if it's a false narrative.
Well, like I said, we've been well over an hour here, so I wanted to again show you that Chris is okay.
I am.
She like I said, that night we just couldn't do it,
No.
because she was resting that night. And I'll tell you the truth, she is a bit of a diva. There are nights where she's totally fine and I'm doing live streams and she's like, no, I don't feel like it, and I continue on by myself. But, that's fourth wall stuff that I'll share.
Does anybody out there know how to move a spirit on?
But anyway, I enjoy these discussions because, again, this is like the stuff we were doing around COVID time, because we talk about this all the time about absolutes. Nobody knows for sure. Everything is based on theory. Every piece of equipment that we use, every method that we use to communicate with spirit is all based on just spirit and interaction with people living the living. And and that's what we do. Can we prove it to an MIT scientist or no? It's
And would you
impossible.
ever?
We'll never accept it. But again, I had a conversation one time with a very well-known debunker who was a friend of mine, and it wasn't any you're bullshit, I'm bullshit, you're bullshit, it wasn't any of that. It was really just an open discussion between two people who believed opposite things. And I couldn't prove to him, I didn't have a video of a full body apparition. I had none of that. But all I could say to him was that, look, no matter what I say to you, you're going to find a reason to counteract what I'm saying, what I saw, what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I can't put my brain into your brain and show you visually shadow figures and the two full body apparitions and the things that I've experienced. I can't do that. I wish I could. There may come a day where Elon or somebody else invents something where we can pop it out and put it in, but we don't have that yet. But
the real quick thing too, would you ever in a million years?
I do, John.
Based on equipment and equipment alone, tell somebody that they have a haunting because of equipment?
Depending on what's going on with the equipment. That's the answer.
But you wouldn't go in with a K2, and if a K2 is going off, it's haunted.
No.
There's levels of validation.
Right. It was depending upon what was happening and what kind of interaction I was getting. But we talk about this a lot, and people have very different opinions of it. I don't look at equipment like skeptics and other whatever naysayers do, because I don't use it like they do. I don't look at it like they do. I completely understand 100% how it works. So I'm not just some person who bought something off of eBay or Ghost Stop that I know blinks when a ghost is around. I know what I'm doing. I know how it works. I know how I'm using it and why I'm using it. So it's different that way.
Right.
And I'll always defend that. I'll defend that every day, all day. That's all I do,
Yeah.
So anyway, probably Monday, I'll have the mine footage or some of it. And then hopefully Chip will be with us on Wednesday. And again, that should be a really good conversation. And I didn't realize it. And I'm almost apprehensive about the day that it's happening on. Wednesday is the 19th. The 19th is the anniversary of my mom's passing. Tough day for me, no matter what. Talking to Chip and having him on and talking about may be really, really tough. So I'm on the fence about how involved I'm going to be in that discussion, because I don't want to be over emotional, because it's an emotional day regardless. So I'm kind of trying to navigate that in my brain, how that conversation's going to go,
I understand.
That's a whole nother. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. As always, great having you all here. We appreciate your support. Sorry that Liberty Hall didn't work out. I know a lot of you guys were looking forward to that, and you were on board with the reschedule date, pushing it back a week, and that didn't work out. So we sincerely apologize for that. Hopefully we make it up to you somewhere down the road at another event that we're going to be doing, because there's a lot more to come.
Have a good night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and please, 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 and I will say this with my last breath, always, I live it, I practice it, I believe in it. Be kind to others. It makes a huge difference in this world. We all need to start doing that. I think that's getting lost a little bit here. And if I could direct you guys, it's a statement of you. I've always been told when you're kind to someone and they don't return that or reciprocate it, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about the person you decide to be. Don't close yourself off. Don't stop being kind, because eventually you'll wear down the other person, and you'll find out that other person probably needs you, or that person is trying to block things and not being hurt, and your kindness being extended will break down barriers, and you might just be meeting your next best friend. And that's all I'm going to say on
And I believe in don't get mad, get even. Not everybody.
that. Good night.